Well, that's one way to get my desk cleaned. What makes
And now, from around the state, your top stories on Wisconsin 360.
Good Friday morning, everyone. Welcome to Wisconsin 360. I'm Kimmy Rapson. You're joining us live from the WBAY newsroom on this Friday, August 21st. A very rainy start to our Friday. We do have that round of rain that has moved through already this morning, and then we do have more severe weather chance later this afternoon. Round 2 is coming. Let's take a quick peek at First Alert Viper Max. It's up right now. You can see there is some lingering shower. There are some lingering showers moving through. Looks like Fond du Lac, Manitowoc, Sheboygan counties. That's on its way out, but we are following some more potential for severe weather later this afternoon, round 2. Unfortunately, it is also the first night of Operation Football, and so we'll be keeping a close eye on that. Okay, let's get into our weather forecast a little bit more, and we'll start with a spin around our Green Bay sky cam. There it is right now. You see those storm clouds kind of still on the horizon. It's just it looks like one of those stormy day type of cloud cover right now. We do have a first alert weather day, and this is why. The second round of storms coming later today. We saw that first round come through this morning. Beneficial rainfall right there. There's a look at Oshkosh. You can see, and we must be looking south because that would be the Fond du Lac area that would still be getting rain. The second round of thunderstorms will develop this afternoon and intensify as we go through the afternoon into the evening. By sunset, getting a little bit more intense. Scattered storms could turn severe with heavy rain, high winds, potential for hail. As we take a look at Shawano right now, the main threat is mid-afternoon through early evening, so please plan accordingly if you are heading out. Sturgeon Bay, a rainy day in Door County today. Maybe find some indoor activities today. As we get into Saturday, still a little bit unsettled, a mix of sun and clouds. Nothing severe, though, on our forecast for Saturday. And then Sunday looks pleasant as we look at Manitowoc with partly cloudy skies, less humidity. It will be a better day of the 2 weekend days. We can look at Appleton. The rain did not help clear as we would have hoped, our Appleton sky cam. So that is where we're at for the weather. Emily Mers is our meteorologist on duty this afternoon, and she will be joining me today on Action 2 News at noon, and we will talk a little bit more about the timing of those severe storms for the afternoon and who exactly could be in line for that coming up a little bit later on Action 2 News at noon, just about an hour from now. So let's start our look at Wisconsin 360. We have Emerson Lehman. He is joining us from our studios right here in Green Bay.
Hi from Green Bay, I'm Emerson Lehman. Here's what's making headlines in northeast Wisconsin. A road in Winnebago County back open after a motorcycle rider died in a late night crash. Winnebago County deputies say they found a man on County Trunk Double I near Oakwood Avenue in the town of Clayton just before 10:45 Thursday night. Investigators say he ran off the road and crashed. Deputies say that the driver was rushed to the Theta Care in Neenah, where he later died from his injuries. The road was closed for 3.5 hours while reconstruction crews investigated. Deputies have not released the victim's name. Appleton police cracking down on noisy vehicles in the city. New data shows the Appleton Police Department has increased noise-related enforcement by 43% this year. Officers took 306 enforcement actions between January and May. That's up from an average of 214 in previous years. Police say the boost in patrols comes as they work to address quality of life concerns, despite complaints remaining steady from people living in Appleton. If you want to see the full data brief from the city, you can head to our website, WBAY.com/links. The Neville Public Museum still looking for its next executive director, and fears are starting to arise for what could happen if it doesn't find one in the near future. If one isn't found, the Neville could lose its museum accreditation. That loss could mean losing access to some exhibits and certain grants, but local officials are hopeful to find one before that happens.
Can't have an accredited museum without a person running it for a year. Now, what saves us is that the administration is going out to look for a new director. Now, finding that person could take a week. It could also take 3 months, right? I mean, they're basically starting the process over again. And that's okay, but as long as they're doing it, and I trust that they are doing it.
The search comes after a local task force announced the museum would not merge with the Green Bay Children's Museum earlier this week. Tonight, the Menasha Blue Jays will play their first football game of the season at Lawrence University's Bonta Bowl. It's likely to be a packed stadium tonight at the Bonta Bowl as fans come out to support the Blue Jays as they take on the Plymouth Panthers. The bleachers in other parts of Calder Stadium were damaged during the tornado on July 27th. Lawrence University offering up its 3,600-seat Bonta Bowl earlier this month, allowing the Blue Jays to use it for the entire season. We spoke to the coach over the past couple weeks leading up to tonight's game, as well as some parents, and they say the devastating damage to Calder Stadium has been a lesson in resilience for the team and turned into an incredible opportunity.
My mindset was, we're never not going to have a season. That's kind of my job, is to make this work and make this the best opportunity for these kids and make the best experience for these kids. That's been my goal ever since I've been a coach, is to try to make this the best experience and our coaches for the kids.
Gates open at 6 with Blue Jays kicking off the season at 7 o'clock tonight. Best of luck to all the high school football teams beginning their season. That's what's making headlines here in Northeast Wisconsin. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thanks, Emerson. All right, the Packers in action tonight, preseason action at Mile High Stadium against the Broncos. Both teams expected to play their starters tonight. Last year's regular season game in Denver is when the Packers season started to go downhill there. The loss of Micah Parsons, who tore his ACL, ended with a loss since that game in December. The Packers have not won a game in regular season. The team is feeling optimistic with how camp has been going. Kickoff, 8 o'clock. Eric Boynton will have more details today. Action to sports, so stay tuned. Oh, there's Micah Parsons getting injured. Hate to see that. Hopefully that won't happen again. Let's take a look now in southern Wisconsin. There's controversy over hemp and the amount of THC in some products there. Here's the details from WMTV.
Good morning from Madison. I'm Gabriella Rusk. Here's a check of the top stories that we're following today. An investigation into a Wisconsin hemp business is raising some questions about what's in THC products. The owner of the Hemp 1848 stores was arrested in Janesville earlier this week, and according to police, 58-year-old Jerry McCoy was arrested for allegedly selling illegal THC products. Authorities say that more charges could be coming after police searched 3 of the Hemp 1848 locations in Janesville, as well as stores in Edgerton, Beloit, and Monroe. We also spoke with the supervisor at one of the Janesville stores. He says he was shocked by this arrest. He's also questioning why their specific business was targeted.
We all do the same things. All the same businesses sell the same products. So what makes us so different than everybody else that they feel like we were doing something illegal?
and that supervisor says he believes the business has been operating legally. We are reaching out to Janesville police to try and learn more about the investigation and the evidence uncovered in this case. A Madison woman is behind bars after a hit-and-run crash on East Washington Avenue that happened earlier this month. 32-year-old Ether Green was arrested and charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide on Tuesday. Madison police say that she's involved in a crash in a parking lot along East Wash that left one woman hurt back on August 9th. An employee of a nearby business heard noise and went outside to that parking lot, according to police, where they found a woman who was seriously hurt, and that woman was taken to the hospital and is expected to recover. Now, using public cameras and business security video, police say that they were able to find the car and arrest Green. We are working to learn when Green will make her first court appearance. Well, there will be no school resource officer in Oregon when students start the school year again on September 1st. The Village of Oregon Police Department says that talks about an SRO agreement with the Oregon School District have stalled. The police department said that there were 2 investigations of inappropriate behavior between staff and students at Oregon High School this past year. Police said that in one case, there was a delay in reporting and a lack of cooperation from some school officials. This led to missed opportunities during the investigation, according to Oregon PD. Now, these cases were not related to the SRO deal, but did lead to conversations about the need for a more formal agreement between police and the school district, but those talks have not since moved forward. The Oregon Police chief has said in a statement that she is hopeful a deal will be reached, as there is already an SRO trained and prepared to take on this role. The Wisconsin Badgers volleyball regular season getting underway tonight as Wisconsin will open up the year with a big test, taking on number 3 Kentucky in Milwaukee. The Badgers come into this one off an exhibition win against Butler last week and are now looking for some revenge. You might remember Wisconsin lost to Kentucky in the NCAA National Semifinals last year. First serve for tonight's game is set for 8 at the Fiserv Forum. Well, those are the top headlines from the capital city. For 15 News, I'm Gabriella Rusk. Have a great day.
Sorry about that little blurb in between. I was talking to somebody in the newsroom, didn't put my mic down. A little bit of work going on in the newsroom as we speak. So I'm out of it. Over here, nice and safe in front of you. Nothing can happen, right? Thumbs up. It's Friday. Yeah, we're watching that rain. We're going to look at First Alert Viper Max as we head out to a little break right now. And when we come back, we'll get the rest of the details from our partners in Western and Central Wisconsin right here on Wisconsin 360. right, we're back here in the WBAY newsroom taking a live look at 501wi.gov. Some of the traffic cameras. I know that the rain caused issues on the roads earlier today. Some of those roads still wet in Winnebago County. You can see some of that rain moving out of the area, but most of the rain gone for Outagamie and Brown County down here. Roads are dry, but yeah, Winnebago County, probably Fond du Lac County as well, having some wet road issues, wet pavement. But again, that rain is moving out for now. We will be following and tracking the second round of storms later this afternoon and into the evening and first alert weather. Emily Mers will have more details on that today on Action 2 News at noon. A candidate for Wisconsin in western Wisconsin will remain on the ballot in November. Here's the update right now from WEAU.
This is a Wisconsin 360 update from WEAU 13 News. I'm DDL Bijou. In election news this morning, Michelle Magadan Skinner gets a major win in Dane County Court. She will remain on the November ballot after a lawsuit was filed against her, claiming she was ineligible to run for office. This case was brought by the state Senate Democratic Committee, claiming that Skinner is not a legal Wisconsin resident. However, the Dane County judge was not convinced, denying the temporary injunction to get her off the ballot.
All of this evidence does not come close to showing me a reasonable probability of convincing me that Ms. Skinner is not a resident of Wisconsin as her primary residence, that she has temporary residences in other states she admits to, and that is certainly proven by the evidence. But this does appear likely to be her primary residence, which would mean that she tends to be, or that she is eligible to vote here and therefore eligible to run.
Skinner's campaign sent us a statement saying in part, quote, "I am thankful that the judge saw through the political games and blatantly false smear campaign conducted by Jeff Smith and his liberal allies. Tactics by Mr. Smith and SSDC have proven this adage to be true. Never wrestle with pigs. They have fun and you get dirty." Meanwhile, Wisconsin Senate Dems say that they disagree with the ruling, but that the facts of the case remain the same, saying in part, quote, "Now it's up to the voters to decide. Someone who carelessly maneuvers around the law or a lifelong public servant who has fought his entire career to lower costs, fight corruption, and prioritize working families. The choice is easy." Skinner will face off against incumbent Democrat Jeff Smith this November. And after a summer water crisis in Menominee, Governor Tony Evers is trying to protect a key program that could help. The governor visiting the city to highlight a $1 million water system upgrade funded by a community development block grant. The visit coincides with a proposal from President Donald Trump to eliminate that same grant program in his upcoming budget. The Community Development Block Grant Program is managed by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and Governor Evers warns that the cuts could be detrimental to rural infrastructure and housing. He's urging Wisconsin congressional members to block the proposal. And that's a check of your news headlines in western Wisconsin. I'm DDL Bijou. Have a great day.
We all know we're heading back to school soon. Here's some advice from teachers in central Wisconsin and details from WSAW.
Good morning from Wausau. I'm Cassandra Cepeda.
And I'm Erin Taylor.
We have talked about what parents can do to make that first day of drop-off a little easier.
But what happens next once kids actually step into the classroom? One local teacher says she clearly labels spaces and supplies around the room so kids know where things are or where things go and what to expect. At Rothschild Elementary, teachers are giving future students a look at their classroom before the first day to help them get familiar with the new environment. The goal is to make them feel as comfortable as possible. For kindergarten teacher Caitlin Swenson, the best part of her job is watching students grow and gain confidence throughout the year.
They come in as young 5-year-olds from 4K, unsure of what's going on, unsure of how to do many things, and then I get to watch the progression through the school year. Kindergarten is the best grade.
Before you drop them off, teachers have this reminder. A smooth transition into school really starts with you. So try to keep your emotions in check at the door. Keep your goodbye short, positive, and fun so your child feels confident walking into class.
The new school year is here, and there's a lot to think about. New supplies, new teachers, maybe even a new school building. But a big lift for families comes outside of the school day. Before and after care can be thousands of dollars. In Stevens Point, they try to bring costs down as much as possible for families.
We provide a lot of scholarships and support for families, so we really meet families where they're at. I want to say typically around $200 a month.
There is a waiting list, and she recommends getting on it as soon as possible. She already has her sights on making more room for students next school year. The Village of Port Edwards is getting a grant to improve the city's infrastructure.
Leaders will receive $1 million from a community development block grant. That's considerable because the village's entire budget is $3 million. Governor Tony Evers joined village leaders for the presentation. The money will help replace pipes, update the stormwater and sewage systems, repave the road, and make sidewalks ADA compliant. Much of the infrastructure dates back at least 60 years.
It's huge. I mean, this could not have happened without these type of grants. And you know, having clean water and sewer, making sure the sewage system works, and you know, this project kind of has it all.
Construction is expected to start next spring and finish in the fall. Well, we have a special anniversary this weekend in Wausau.
Yeah, it is the 35th year for the Big Bull Falls Blues Fest at Fern Island on the Wisconsin River. It's the longest running blues festival in Wisconsin. With music playing Friday night and into Saturday, organizers at Wausau Events say it is the perfect way to end summer.
This festival is always really special for us at Wausau Events because it's kind of our last big hurrah of the summer, and we like to think it's that for the community as well. Summer's kind of coming to a close, but we've still got a little left and we want to enjoy it for all that it's worth.
They estimate around 7,000 people will attend this weekend.
That's a look at the top stories from across north central Wisconsin.
Have a good day.
Thank you, ladies. Now let's check a couple of national and international stories. We do have some new numbers about those wounded in the Iran war. These numbers just coming in today. 757 injured since February. 580 of those are Army soldiers, also includes 86 sailors, 64 airmen, 19 Marines. Many of these casualties categorized as having occurred during Operation Epic Fury. That's the formal name, but that has since been ended. Officials say the vast majority of the injuries are considered to be traumatic brain injuries. Also today, Tiananmen Square. Do you remember this story? There is more to say about it today. Hong Kong courts found two key organizers of the city's Tiananmen Square vigils guilty of inciting subversion under China's national security law. Those two men could face up to 10 years in prison for leading an alliance that called for an end to one-party rule in China and organized some of these candlelight vigils. Prosecutors say their demands to end one-party dictatorship were really an effort to overthrow the Communist Party. That was an iconic scene from Tiananmen Square. Yeah, this case highlights how long Hong Kong's once vibrant pro-democracy movement has been crippled since Beijing's national security crackdown after those mass protests in 2019. So you are up to date with the news headlines from here at home and around the state, around the country, around the world as we bring you Wisconsin 360. Coming up soon on this streaming platform at 11:30, it is The Good Side. The Good Side is a compilation of good news stories, and it's from all across the country. Our great media partners contribute to this, and you can watch it every day, weekday, on our streaming platform right here with the WBAY TV app. That'll do it for me today here on Wisconsin 360. I'll be back for Action 2 News at noon. Of course, I'll see you at 4, 5, and 6 as well. Until then.